Hi everyone, it's Sean again from STK Markets. We're just taking stock and an update on Hannan Metals. We've got a new face to introduce you today, Zach Tuxwell, who's joined Hannan. He's got a long history with us, even though you may not have seen him. He was the senior geo at Southern Cross Gold for the last 3 or 4 years. He was responsible with Mike and team and with Kenny, working out where to drill next. So he brings a wealth of experience into Hannan. That success that the team had in Southern Cross, making it bigger, better, higher in terms of grade, we're hoping to emulate in Hannan Metals. And it's a pleasure to introduce Zach this morning, who's still within our investment circle, but now over in Peru, heading up the geo team there for this huge discovery that we've got. So welcome,
That's
Zach.
right. Thanks very much for having me, Sean. Appreciate it. It's good to chat with you.
Zach, we've got some big moves in Hannan in the last couple of days. It's been a bit uncertain, not due to the company, more related to what's happening in the Middle East and with Trump. And unfortunately, Hannan wasn't immune to the geopolitical tensions, which pushed gold down. But oh, by golly gee, did it bounce the other day, up 20%. And with these gold results, oh my God, it's just looking better and better. The key thing that we've seen with Southern Cross is it's expanding, it's bigger, and it's continuing. And thankfully, we're seeing something similar here, Zach, which I'd love you to delve into.
Yeah, absolutely, Sean. Can do. So the results were reported today. They're from our Previsto project. So that is a 100% owned project. It's a alkaline gold and copper system. So it's interesting because it's a new style of mineralization, new style of system for Peru, and it's world renowned for being very high grade and also very large systems that can host a lot of metal. So I'm very excited to be there and to be talking about the results.
The key thing is when we're in exploration, we need to see news flow coming from the company. Now, this is the initial soil sampling, trenching that you're doing whilst you wait for the permits. Now, this is the type of things you need to do anyway to get your drill targets ready. And we've done some drilling on one of the smaller permits, but the big, big, big beauty, which we're all waiting to get permitted, it takes time to work out. Now, how important are these results in defining an ore body or defining a target and proving
Yeah,
what's there for the drilling campaign?
yeah, absolutely. They're critical. Like I do believe we could drill some fantastic holes right now if we did have the permits, but it's kind of a blessing in disguise is the way that I see it. Because in this time that we're waiting for the permits and waiting to get approved to do the work there, the drilling work, we can have an opportunity to spend another 6, 8 months developing and understanding the geology and the structural controls and how the mineralization is sitting in the ground. So I believe that this work that we're doing now, while we are waiting for the permits, is only going to ensure that we're going to drill the best holes when we do get a rig there.
We've said that this is elephant country. You're talking potentially millions and millions of ounces. Now, that's what we've invested in back in December and back in March last year when we initially came into Hannon. I mean, obviously, it's been a bit of a rocky road. It had a tremendous rally up last year, and obviously, external forces pushing the share price down and then recovering. These results, is it boding well for a multi-million ounce system? Like some of them are just phenomenal. I mean, can you talk to them, please?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's incredible out there. Like you see in my background there, the steep elevation. We're out in the high jungle, and we've got gold that's sticking out of the ground at 33 grams per ton. It's our highest grade sample. That one was reported back at the end of 2024, and that was our high grade gold discovery in the center. That's the Previsto Central. And that's just a gold discovery within a large footprint of a big mineral system. So that gold discovery, the current footprint is about a kilometre in strike by a few hundred metres in width. And that is, I'm not saying there's ounce gold sticking out everywhere, but there is a really high grade outcrop there, which is that channel we reported about 130 metres at 1 point something grams, including some silver and tellurium too. So that gold system sits within a larger footprint, which is a 5 by 5 kilometre footprint of gold in soil, so greater than 50 ppb, which is a pretty significant anomaly, as well as a geophysical anomaly too. So the way I see it is this has huge potential for a very big system. Like big systems have big footprints, and I can tell you that this has a big footprint.
With the drilling, you're obviously waiting for those permits, and the timeline for there is months, not weeks. But that does give you the ability to firm up these drill targets. As you're saying, you've already got some there, but just to get them better and better and better. So when we put the drill rig into the ground and it starts spinning, we'll hopefully get the results we're after. But there's a lot of work to be done to get to that point and a lot of potential news flow. Are you looking at anything else while we wait for those permits as we speak?
Yeah, actually. So while we're waiting for those permits, I've got 6 geologists in the field, spending about 12 days per month, hardcore working in the field, including myself when I can get out there. And in the meantime, we're keeping our doors open and open to opportunities, while we're waiting for that permitting time. But the focus will always remain that Previsto and Peru is the focus of Hannan. It's a phenomenal project, and we just cannot wait to drill it. But in the meantime, we are developing with the field work, which is essential for us to understand the controls on this system so that we can drill the best holes when we arrive.
So the permitting progress, the timeline is several months away. Would you concur, or what are you
Yeah,
envisaging? Have you put
yeah,
the
I can give you.
applications in? Are you engaging with the government? Whereabouts do we sit?
Yeah, so I can give you the timeline as it stands at the moment. So we're intending to submit our DIA, is what it's called. It's like an environmental impact assessment. Intending to submit our DIA before the end of May this year. And our last DIA at Belen, where we've just wrapped up drilling and demobilised the rig, which we can speak to in a bit. That last permit took 10 months from submitting to approval, and then we're able to start drilling when we have the final authorizations. So we're looking at 10 months or better. So before we had that 10-month turnaround, colloquially it was known to be a year or more. So we were quite happy with the 10 months, and we're looking to hopefully improve that again. So in terms of where that sits for timing, 6 months to the end of the year, that takes us to wet season. Unfortunately, it's quite hard to do the work in wet season. That's probably second half of December and January. So we're looking at around March or April for us to be mobilising a rig out there.
So that field sampling work, that trenching, that will obviously be well executed by that point in time. You've also got the other project you've been doing drilling on, because we funded the business with about 9 million Canadian from memory. So you've still got quite a bit of cash in the bank to fund what we need to do here. How's the drilling going at our other tenements?
So at the Belen project, which is about 20 kilometres to the southwest of Previsto, we actually just wrapped up drilling. We hit our first milestone target, which was to drill 3,000 metres across 3 prospects at Belen. So those 3 prospects are Sotolegio, Ricardo Herrera, and Vista Alegre. We've got final results in the lab, so you'll see some news coming there. But we made the decision to demobilise the rig, to step back and understand what the results are and what we're looking at, make a little bit of interpretation before returning to Belen, perhaps at another time. But that's not in the plan for this year. So in doing that, we are saving our pennies so that we can put more cash and time into Previsto, because as we know, that is the jewel in the crown of Hannan for sure.
Thanks, Zach. Just with Peru specifically, obviously investors want to know a timeline of when things particularly can come to the market, because news moves markets. That's the reality. There's a lot happening there, but the news flow that we can expect, there is good stuff coming. Can we just highlight it again for people that are watching this?
Yes, absolutely, Sean. So yeah, like I was saying, I've got a team of 6 geos spending about a week and a half, 2 weeks in the field every month. So it's a lot of time in the field. So as a result of that, we're going to have pretty much field results at least every month. On top of that, I've got drill results from Belen in the lab, and we're expecting them also within the next few weeks. Outside of that, we're looking at some remote sensing studies and potentially some geophysics later in the year, which will all be reported in due course.
These results again show the promise that Peru offers us investors in what we're seeing here. There's definitely gold in them, in that jungle. I was going to say in those hills, but it certainly is a jungle. You can see the terrain. But
Yeah, there's
it's
hills
great to
there
see it
too.
is shaping up for what we were hoping. So it's just a a waiting game, but those results certainly are very encouraging. And those drill results coming out of the lab soon, that's something we're looking forward to seeing as well. So the reality is you'll be doing the soil sampling trenching. I know from speaking with Mike previously yourself that you're getting access to helicopters to move in and out, so it saves a hell of a lot of time once you do start drilling. But that gives the team some opportunity to look at other projects, whether in the area or elsewhere. With this time to get the permitting, does this get you time to look at other projects? Because we know that the team is very capable of finding good projects. Look what you did in Victoria. Look what you've got in Previsto, the motherlode, the crown jewel, which we're just itching to get some results out of from the drill bit. Is there anything else you can see? Because you are extremely well funded.
We do have the capacity to be looking at other projects, maybe even other jurisdictions, in a way that it would definitely not detract from Previsto and our work in Peru, because that is always our priority. But that's up for discussion with the board, and any announcements will be made in due course if that is the case.
We all know that Mawson has that spectacular deposit in Finland that it found Southern Cross. So the ability for you and Hudson and the team to find the gold is certainly there. You've certainly got the Midas touch. It's a proven recipe for success. So we're very excited that you've joined the team at Hannan with that wealth of knowledge that you've got in the markets, the trust and admiration Michael Hudson's got for you, the man in charge. It's obviously a big responsibility, which he's comfortable with you doing. So hats off to you and congratulations for leading the team there. How are you finding Peru? Is it a good jurisdiction to work in, to explore?
Thanks very much, Sean. I appreciate that. And yeah, it's a fantastic place to work. Look, it does have its challenges, but being out in the jungle is very rewarding. It feels like what I imagined I would be doing when I was a kid, thinking I wanted to grow up and be a geologist. It is frontier geology. We're working in places that no one has ever worked in a modern exploration sense. So that way it highlights that there are huge discoveries to be made because no one has ever looked. That's where the big discoveries are going to be made.
That's fantastic. And I guess if you're not looking, you don't find them. So, yeah, we're very excited to see how the trajectory of this company progresses and the hint you've given us there that there might be something coming up in the future. You haven't said it, but I'm certainly, I guess, what's the word? A speculator. And I certainly haven't been disappointed with this team in the past. Zach, I've been to the core sheds up at Sunday Creek and to Kilmore. We've crossed paths quite a few times, which is great. And obviously, we're very comfortable with what you've been doing, finding that gold at Sunday. Can you just give us a bit of a background of how you've achieved the success that you've done and how you've got to this point in your career of being able to sniff out the gold?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been a gold geologist for pretty much all of my career until moving over to Hannan, where I've been having some exposure to copper and some other stuff. So I spent the first few years of my career in Western Australia in the Kalgoorlie goldfields, working in mines and exploration projects with some of the big players, some of the big gold companies. Before making the move over to Victoria, I spent about a year and a bit at Stawell underground gold mine. So I got some exposure to some different mineralisation styles there. And then came across Lisa Gibbons and Mike Hudson at a conference and heard about Sunday Creek for the first time. That would have been in about 2022. And I just loved what they were doing at Sunday Creek, and it looked like a really fascinating project, which we now know to be true. And that was pretty early stage. I think they only had 25 or 30 holes in the project. So I got Lisa's business card and kept calling her until they gave me a job, basically. Been working with Mike ever since, so that's coming up on 4 years. I started at Sunday Creek when there was one drill rig and 35, 36 drill holes and a 20-cent share price. And then I left to come to Hannan in June of last year, and it was at the time 8 drill rigs and a $6 share price. And then look at Sunday Creek now, only a few months later. So I'm saying yes to adventure, and I always love travel. So moving to Peru with my wife to have this opportunity to make another fantastic discovery with Mike Hudson, I just had to say yes. Like, what an incredible opportunity. And that brings us to today. So now I'm based in Lima full time, going out to the field with my Peruvian field team pretty much every second week and spending a lot of time on the ground.
Sounds exciting, Zach. Thanks for the insight as to what it looks like being over there and your history.
Pleasure.
It carries a lot of weight, what Mike thinks of people, how he runs projects, how he runs his team. He's got a lot of experience in the capital markets and exploration, and he's very good at choosing people. It must be very humbling to have the endorsement of Mike. So I'm very well aware he doesn't suffer fools. So for him to give you the ability to run this project in Peru when Southern Cross is standing where it is and he can attract a lot of geos with the success he's had at Southern Cross, it's a massive endorsement for you personally that he's chosen you to lead the team in Peru.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm honoured to work with Mike, and I have a great relationship with him. And I can see that he's going to be a person that I'll work with for the probably for my entire career. You know, and he tells me that as well as someone that he wants to work with for the rest of his career, which is phenomenal endorsement. You're right, and I guess I proved myself quite early at Sunday Creek by just getting my head down and drilling the best holes I possibly could, and helping to pick apart the geology there and the controls on the mineralization. So from that, Mike and I built a great relationship, and have become someone that he trusts, and I trust him as well with my life. So the fact that he could call me up and say, "Hey, do you want to move to Peru?" and then 4 weeks later I was on a plane, I think it bodes quite well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Zach.
Thank you, Sean. It's a pleasure.
I actually meant that. Thank you.
Oh well, yeah, no worries. As did I.
Yeah, we've done wonders for our client
All
base,
good.
Zach, and I haven't got the chance to tell you this properly. But because of you and the team at Southern Cross, our investors have been very supportive, getting the IPO off the ground, supporting each placement, and it's through your good work that
Yeah.
we've reaped the rewards for our investors, which is the most important thing from our side, and we've funded you to do this. So it's just fabulous, mate. Thank you very much.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'm just doing what I love, and I'm lucky enough to be working with someone like Mike, who has such a good eye for fantastic projects. So yeah, really, really, it's been quite a journey to go from one project like Sunday Creek, which is a world class discovery, to something like Previsto, which could easily be world class as well. It's phenomenal for my career.
Yeah, that was just brilliant to hear to go from one world class to the next. I mean, that's the money shot really that my investors want to see. We've got a fabulous investment here. A lot of them still own all their shares, and I've signed as few as possible to manage to keep as many as I could personally because I believe in the story and I believe in the vision of what Mike and the team have, and now Hannan. We've backed this one sensationally. So yeah, just looking forward to the results over the coming years. It's not an
Yeah,
overnight sensation. People who invested in Southern Cross in the IPO at 20 cents, then got out at 40, 80, a dollar, thought they were doing well. And it's gone 10
yeah,
times from there. Trading
exactly.
isn't what it's meant to be. Trading, you get in and out, you think you've done well, but wealth is created by timing the market, not timing the market and letting companies evolve, which is our philosophy at STK. We want to see these companies evolve and get to those milestones that we need to. And we've got very patient capital that does that. So, yeah, we're looking forward to seeing the results over time and hopefully
Yeah,
getting the rewards that we're looking forward to. So, good luck.
yeah, fantastic. Thank you. And yeah, and Peru is a place that does require patience, but I believe that the rewards are going to be worth it. It's a wealthy place. Yeah, it's
Well, I
natural
think there's a good
resources.
saying, which I love. The harder you work, the luckier you get. It looks like you're working very hard. So, let's hope you get lucky.
Great. I love to hear that. That's great.
Guys, I've got to bounce. I'm very sorry. Thank you, Sak. It was lovely to have a proper conversation with you. I meant a
You
lot of
too,
what I
mate.
said. I wasn't doing it for the camera. I'm very
No, I appreciate
appreciative
it.
of what you've done at Southern Cross, and we're thrilled that you've taken that knowledge. And we've got trust of someone running a project in a foreign jurisdiction. You uprooted your family. It is
Mm,
wonderful that you've got that commitment to the company. So,
absolutely.
congratulations and thanks for joining the team and introducing yourself to our investors.
Thanks very much, Sean. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Hey there, so we've just arrived at the copper channels just below Previsto Central High Grade Gold Zone. So they're about 100 metres or so vertically below the gold zone. And yeah, so it looks like we're seeing a different structural part of the system. Got a feldspar porphyry, alkaline feldspar porphyry that's just full of sulfides. Start of this channel, reported about a year and a half ago, is about 20 meters at 0.2% copper. So it's pretty significant. And yeah, we can see lots of in situ copper and chalcopyrite, as well as copper oxides, some beautiful green and blue malachite and other nice rocks. So we have something really cool here in the copper zone, just above Previsto Central. Got amazing copper oxides outcropping, and what I really like about this area is you see some live chemistry happening in action. For those chemistry nerds out there, we have probably a better idea than I do of what's going on here, but it's clear to see that the copper is being leached out of the rock, mixing with the groundwater, and it just flows down these little rock faces and is precipitating copper oxide. And it is just beautiful, that texture there in these bright blue and green colours. You can see how this is live chemistry because this leaf is getting encrusted in copper oxide minerals. So cool, I love it. Good morning, it is 8:25 a.m. Just hiked up about 100 meters up vertically from the camp this morning, and just behind me we've got our high grade, beginning of our high grade channel. So believe it or not, this outcrop behind me is about 33 grams per tonne on average, and about 60-70 grams of silver, a lot of tellurides, a lot of roscolite, vanadium mica, which is a unique mineral, and a bit of a telltale sign about these alkaline epithermal systems. So as we continue the day, I'll keep checking in and keep you updated on the rocks we're seeing. Here we are at another channel that's just about 50-70 meters to the east of our central high-grade channel. And this one's at a different angle, so there's a different angle of mineralization here, and it's also important to take channels at different orientations so that we can figure out what are the controls and true widths of the mineralized structures. But what I love about this outcrop, if we look behind me, is the view. Look at this, absolutely beautiful. And if you've ever been walking in the jungle with a bunch of geologists, but you'll know that it takes a long time to get anywhere because you're always stopping to look at rocks, which is a great thing because we have lots of rocks to look at. Today on day 3 of our trip, we are heading up to the copper zone on the north side of Previsto. So it's a little bit of a different access, a little less topography and a lot more time spent in Crete. What you can see behind me is, hi Jack, hola, hola Richard, is a landslide that has happened pretty recently, a natural one, of course, that has happened since the last time we visited this area in the copper zone. So it's only a small one, but it's fantastic for us because it exposes a lot more new rocks that we haven't seen before. So we're currently finding some really nicely mineralized chunks of porphyry, a lot of pyrite, a little bit of chalcopyrite, and even some other copper minerals like ornite and chalcocite. So that's really cool. A lot of copper kicking around in this system, and just goes to show how often you need to come out here because the environment changes quite a bit from time to time. So, yeah. Entonces, ¿qué sería por alcanzar, no?